Hello and welcome back to another edition of Trogly's Guitars. Obviously, this is not the original case for this gorgeous Gibson beauty, but inside the 4 latched case, it's very sturdy, sleeps a 1994 Gibson Les Paul Standard. I personally think this looks really close to that really famous Slash guitar. It's got that really nice dark tobacco sunburst to it. This thing's just gorgeous. You got some cosmetic issues on this one, but playability, it's perfectly fine. So let's take a look at it. Once again, 1994 Gibson Les Paul Standard in the gorgeous dark tobacco sunburst finish. The difference is, instead of being brown around the edges, it's black, so the belly pops out a little bit more. You got awesome wood grain right there, but more on that later. Headstock. In the 90s, I don't know what Gibson was doing, but this happens to almost all of them. The lacquer bubbles around the headstock there. So, if you're not into that, maybe this one's not for you, but if you can learn to live past that and just not look at it in the lighting that shows it off the most, you'll be fine. But it does show up on the edges, and this is on almost every single 90s Gibson that I've had. What they were doing, I don't know. Alright, this guitar will be cleaned before it's sold, so don't worry about any of these smudges or anything. But it does look like you have a lighter part on the fretboard there, as well as some very light wear and divoting in the fretboard. However, when you're playing, you don't feel that. That's usually caused by someone's nails, but they're not deep enough to really cause any major concerns. You can look forward to the pictures later on to see more on that. However, since this one was played so heavily, that causes the lighter fretboard color. I mean, this was probably the original color, but since it's been worked on for so long, it's turned a very dark rosewood color, which is preferred by most people here. Once again, gorgeous finish on the front here. A lot like Slash's. Got a little bit of a ding here. But, I mean, honestly, cosmetically on the front here, it's not too bad. You do have some stand rash bleed right here, it looks like. Where it's just hit the binding here, so that's really not too bad. You can see. Gorgeous wood grain right there. Let's see if there's any scratches or anything. Doesn't look too bad on the front here. Which is, when I'm buying a guitar, is my personal concern. The condition of the front of the guitar, because that's mainly what you see. The back is just designed to be pretty and also be used. This one does have some wear on the back. If you're not familiar with the year 1994, that is the 100th anniversary of Gibson. So they changed their serial number system, so no, there's not a 400th day of the year. Yes, this is a legitimate Gibson. In 94, they just switched to that being the year 94, and the rest of those. Still made in USA. You got the wings on the headstock there. No headstock breaks or repairs or anything. You got a few light dings here, but nothing too major. Now, it does look like, as well as playing heavy on the fretboard, he also wore away some of the finish here. That's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 8 or 9 inches or so. But when you're playing it, you really don't feel it. And even when you're trying to feel it, there's really little difference in the feel to that. So if you're worried about that, don't be. You have a few other light nicks and dings as you're seeing here, but nothing that's going to affect how you can play this guitar. Alright. Now, the back of this guitar I'm really digging the wood grain on here. As you can see from far away, you don't really see any buckle rash, but let's show some light on it. You can see there is an area of worn finish, mainly in that one spot. But luckily, it doesn't look disgusting when you're looking at it, unless you know it's there. Even then, feel-wise, it just feels like the finish has been roughed up a little bit. It doesn't feel like typical buckle rash. As you can see, the wood grain has this nice, like, water waves coming in and out type thing going on. So it's a really nice looking back. It reminds me of a 1974 Gibson Signature I had once, which was a very cool guitar, as is this one. So there you have it. This, once again, 1994 Gibson Les Paul Standard, part of the 100th anniversary year. So these are definitely a looked for model. And as always, you can contact me on my